Evening. I can see a few of you coming in. How's it going? God, I've got a funny crack in my back. Just waiting for me guests to come as well. How is it, evening all? I can see a few of you come on. Hi, Frank. How's it going? I can see you've registered as well, top man. I'll get my into my thank yous, and then I'll get into my thank yous, and then I'll get hopefully my guests to come on. Oh, I can see one. How you doing? I can see you. I can't hear you, but you can hear me. Are you not going to fall asleep before you come on as well, Chris? I know. I've had it as well. It's a bit weird the first day. But if you need to disappear anywhere, it's no problem. Right. Hello all. I can see you all coming in. Evening all. How's it going? I should just get into my thank yous. One of my guests is waiting, ready to go. Hopefully the other one will be. I just made contact with him just a second ago, so hopefully I'll get that sorted in a second. Right, big thanks for the support to Simon Pardo of White Eagle Finance. They give quality financial advice for pensions, mortgages, investments and protection. Check the website out, www.whiteeaglefinance.co.uk. You can quote myself or Motocross and Speedway members for free advice off of Simon. Big thanks to the legend Stefan Everts with his S72 Gin and Vodka brand. Check out his website on www.s72gin.com. Also, big thanks to Lee Owen of Owen Developments. They specialise in supplying turbos to a global customer base in motorsport, performance and aftermarket OEM sectors. Check the shop site out, www.owenturbos.com, and also you can check him on www.owendevelopments.co.uk. Big thanks to Terry Smith of Terry Smith Painting and Decorating. You can call him on 079 61537 505 for any of your painting and decorating needs in the south and southwest. Also, big thanks to Craig Triplet of Jardine Conservatories. Check them guys out on www.jardineintelford.co.uk. Right, I can see loads of people saying stuff. How's it going? Yeah, I can see you all in there. A couple of you haven't registered, but I'll moan about that later. Right, I've got one of my guests waiting. Where's the other one's on the 2-minute time allowance? I might have to get the video going and get my first one in before he falls asleep. Right, anyone that's got earphones on, just be careful that sometimes these videos, when you first put them on, sometimes go a bit loud initially, in case anyone, because a few people have told me that. So here we go, then I'll get in the intro underway. I'm hoping my video's kept him awake. How's it going, Mr. Louis?
I'm all right. How are you, mate?
How's it feeling?
That's all right. You keep mentioning me falling asleep. I feel like I could at any moment, to be honest. Had that terrible COVID jab this morning, and it's knocked me sideways. It is.
Yes, I did mention, because I only just saw your message on Twitter, and I just wrote back saying, yeah, I did actually have it, and you do generally feel a bit weird the first night, especially.
Yeah, I feel fine. I'm just tired. I've just I had it this morning. I had Zoom meetings all afternoon, and I was just yawning, and yeah, could have done without it really.
Right, I hope we can keep you awake for a little bit then.
I'll be fine. I'm more awake than Donk, so it would appear.
Yeah, he's definitely been excluded now.
He didn't miss many starts. He's missed this one, hasn't he?
Yeah, he just come up on Facebook and goes, "I'm just firing up the laptop," so I'm not sure if he's got to update anything.
It's a Steam one. It's a Steam one. He's got to get it boiling.
Exactly, he could be doing all sorts of this. He's probably messaging me now, going, "I can't get in" or something. How are you doing in general, anyway?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've got too much hair, too much belly, all that going on at the moment. This lockdown's got to end. Does seem there's light at the end of the tunnel though, so I'm very much looking forward to getting out and getting going.
Plenty of guys on already. We nearly got well over 100 people ready. So no imminent comeback then, Chris, yet?
No, it keeps getting muted. I keep seeing all these other ones. Even the Felixstowe Flyer had a ride out in Australia the other day, Nigel Flatman. But no, it hasn't crossed my mind. I've got to be honest. I was surprised when Jason made his comeback. We had several phone calls before the decision was made he'd join the Witches, and I think the first 2 or 3 were me trying to talk him out of it. But he was very determined, very adamant, and in the end, he convinced me that he was going to be good to go, and seems like he is going to be honest.
How did it all come about then? Did he just contact you at General then? Did he? Or
he muted. There was a chance of it towards the end of sort of mid-end of 2019, and then that winter it became a little bit more sort of obvious, and then. As a member of the board, I began to realise that he was asking for averages and things like that, and I realised that maybe it was a bit serious. So I kind of tongue-in-cheek texted him saying, "Do we need to talk?" And the next thing we got talking. We occasionally have text messages anyway, not too often, but I was impressed with why he was coming back, what he was being realistic about what he expected and wanted to achieve, and. I couldn't really pass it up, to be honest.
No, so it's all systems go then. What's the latest and what's the plans and all that then for the season?
What, at Ipswich or generally? Do you mean?
Yeah, in Ipswich. Sorry, yeah, I meant Ipswich.
We just sort of. I'd like to say we're ready to go. There's so much ahead of us all, because there's so many unknowns, wasn't it, really? But
yeah.
We're the team's ready to go. Obviously, there's a bit of travel that's got to happen. We've got Nikolai in Denmark and Geordie Stewart obviously in Australia. So there's a few visa things got to happen, as which is normal. But you're always nervous because we've not only COVID, but we've had Brexit as well, which is having an effect on visas, and maybe things are going to take longer than usual. And so there's a lot of work still to do. But yeah. The team's ready to go. Looking forward to it. They're all talking. We've got the usual group chat going, and they're winding each other up, which is always healthy. So looking forward to actually hearing the bikes and the sounds, the smell, and getting on with it.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. Unbelievable. I guess the early part of the original lockdown back in March, April. The weather was great. It was quite good. It gave me a couple of weeks. Sort of quite enjoyed using the garden, having the odd beer, and I thought, oh yeah, this is all right. But literally 2 or 3 weeks in, that was it. My hair was coming out. I was ready to go. So it's getting very frustrating now.
Right, our other man's here. I'm gonna have to drop the video again for him, Chris.
Yeah. No,
otherwise you'll miss out on the video. You can't miss out on the video, Jem.
All that nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly that. So I'm going to drop it again. Here we go. Better welcome in another British Speedway legend then. Here he is, Mr. Jeremy Doncaster.
Aha, I can finally hit. Sorry about that.
Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Yeah, the old laptop sort of had a bit of an epi fit. There's all sorts of things flying up in front of us, but I don't know. Yeah, I need to throw a bit of raw meat.
I've just said to him, I bet that's what's happening.
Yeah, Yeah, I've got 3 devices run. I've got my phone, the laptop, and a tablet as a backup, so I couldn't. Good fun, but
Yeah,
there you go.
unfortunately, you've been excluded under the 2 minutes and all that. So
Yeah, I think far exceeded that. Yeah.
yeah. How are you,
Yeah, I
then,
miss the.
Jem?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm not frothing at the mouth just yet, so might fall asleep later on and feel over. But
Oh yeah,
did you
you
have
had the
yours
jab today, haven't you?
Do you have yours
No,
today
yeah,
or not?
I'm ready to fall asleep. Yeah, I had mine this morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh dear. Right. Okay. Well, if we might both keel over at the same time, then.
We've picked the right night for this, haven't we? 2 jabs.
Yeah. Might have to put
Tomorrow
my
you're both going to be
glasses
doing this. Tomorrow you're both going to be doing this.
on.
Oh, what's going on here?
Well, yeah,
Like
left arm. Yeah, that hurts anyway, so it doesn't make any difference, does it? Yeah.
No, you're just a wreck, dog.
Yeah.
Few war wounds.
Yeah, definitely.
So what have you been up to then, Jem? Just had a quick chat with Chris about the latest with Ipswich and everything. What have you been up to?
Well, nothing Speedway rise. It just sort of worked all the way through the pandemic, where I work. So it's been busier than ever really because of the COVID. So yeah, I haven't really stopped, sort of, which is obviously I feel ever sorry for the people that had been laid off and can't, like Chris, he can't obviously run his business, affected his business. So, it's, challenging times,
Yeah, not good. Light at the end of the tunnel, though, hey, Chris.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, 17th of May. At least it's the first time really that since we went in lockdown, which was literally about 3 days after our press day last year in March. We've never had any dates as a sport that we could kind of hang our coat on and say, yeah, that's when we're going to be up and running. So 17th of May is the date, and we'll be ready to go.
Because there was initially a lot of excitement back then as well, weren't there? With obviously Jason coming back, you had Pedersen come back, Kilderman, a few guys, and there was quite a lot of excitement at that time.
Yeah, the momentum sort of has got lost really in the last year or so, but it's soon going to build again. I'm getting excited now. Obviously the particular changes for last year. For me, the excitement was around the top and the bottom of the team. Jason coming in 8 years off the bike, or from competitive action. So I was really looking forward to that. Still am, to be honest. I know now he's had a couple of meetings. Everyone's had a chance to see him ride, but he's improved all the time. And he says every time he gets on the bike, he feels better. He's just had an operation, so his wrist is now feeling a lot more comfortable. And the bottom end of the team, with Drew coming in, I was really looking forward to seeing Drew at sort of top end Premiership Speedway and people like Danny and Jason working with him and seeing the strides he could make. Obviously, we saw him in 2020, one of the few riders that did get out there and did get a chance, and he absolutely made the most of it. He came on just in those few meetings last year, leaps and bounds. So it's something else, for our fans to look forward to.
Jem, do you get yourself down to Ipswich quite a bit? Do you watch any of the Speedway much lately? Obviously, before lockdown.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got a job down there. I sort of, machine examine the bikes and sort of rattle a few feathers sometimes, but it keeps me on my toes, and and I think really generally the riders, it's just another set of eyes, and sometimes when you spin off the front wheel nut and show it to Jason Doyle and sort of say, "Do you think you've forgotten something, mate?" And he sort of like goes white. Does appreciate it.
Because obviously a lot of the guys you must have raced with, so you must have a lot of banter with the guys with that as well.
Well, it is, yeah. That's what it is most of the time. It's more banter and sort of especially when you see some of the riders in my era as well. They're helping young and upland stars as well, and you get all most of them sort of bend down and can't get up like we all do.
Yeah.
But no, it's nice to keep in touch with the guys as well.
So I know, Chris, didn't you? You started off in motocross in grass track. I knew that you've definitely done motocross.
Yeah, well, I started well, actually, I'd done 2 trials, I think, first.
Okay.
And then everyone was sort of saying to Dad, look, he hasn't got the idea. He thinks that the idea is to get through the section as quick as possible. So that didn't really work for me. Then I went grass tracking. Had several years at that. Won a British Championship, I think, when I was 13, and then end of that season decided to have a go at motocross. Lowell Hare actually had started motocross, and we were good friends at the time, Lowell and Stuart, and they were motocrossing, and I sort of went around there, had to go on the bikes, and thought, yeah, this looks like fun. Got a bike, rode motocross up until I started Speedway when I was 18. So had a few good years, good fun with the motocross. Picked up 1 or 2 injuries, which probably held me back a little bit in the end with my knee injury in particular. But I had some really good fun. I rode for Heron Suzuki for a year. That was great. Rode for the Brian Mellon's Team Green Kawasaki team for a year, and was supported by them. So it was just good fun.
You was good then.
I probably made myself sound better than I was actually just then, saying it like that.
I've heard you were good. I've heard you were good.
Sorry?
I've heard you were good. That's all right.
The older you get, the faster you work. Just dead true.
You did see some nice pictures.
I'm so fast, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of fond memories though. A lot of good fun. That's what motocross was for me.
When I did Lawrence Hare's interview, we did see quite a few little pictures of you on the motocross in the grass track in the pits as a little nipper, so it's quite cool to see that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were nice ones.
I should have got some pictures I could have shown you tonight. I've got some somewhere.
Yeah, you should have, yeah. Damn. Yeah,
I keep seeing you do interviews with various proper motocross legends, not like me. And it just brings back memories every time I hear you say you've got someone on, memories of
you recognise the
playing
names,
around on bikes and whatever, yeah.
What was your situation then, Jeremy? How did you start? What was your sort of first bike?
Yeah, I came through the schoolboy scene, schoolboy grass track. I started off with like a cut down mobilette from Alec Gooch, Alec the Jap, and went through the old Norfolk and Suffolk Club, and I did do one motocross because of the shop I worked for, the motorbike shop I worked for, Davy Brothers, who sponsors in quite a way through me grass track Speedway career. They traded in that 125 Husky, which I rode at Blacksall pits, and I ended up hitting the only tree there was. I think I went tried to jump.
There's a lot of trees there, Don.
Yeah. Well, that big old bomb hill, where you jump off the edge. I sort of thought, well, everyone's shut off, and I thought, well, why are they shutting off for? And I sort of cleared it and sort of landed at the bottom, and sort of both feet went off the foot pegs, and sort of like. And I had one of those Centurion 150 crash helmets, and that slid over my eyes, so I couldn't see it. As I went down, I sort of like took my arms went down like that, and a big fistful of throttle, and I just veered to the right and smacked into the tree. So that sort of.
Don't be shy. That wasn't your only motocross exploits. I seem to remember you doing a little bit of sidecar as well.
Oh, did you?
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. I ended up, poor old Matt Coxwell, I ended up breaking his arm actually. So that was on the sidecar. That's Martin Hager's motocross bike that was at Belstead pits, just a pre-season sort of motocross practice it was. So he said, have a go on the sidecar. So yeah, great. So Matt said, yeah, I'll have a go. And so
everyone told Matt not to get in the sidecar with Don. He just didn't listen.
No, he didn't. He didn't listen.
That is a bit scary, to be fair, isn't it, in the sidecars? Jesus.
Well, his girlfriend never spoke to me for quite a while after that.
Oh dear, that didn't go down well then.
No. Bless her, Sharon.
Right, that's it. Talking about Blacksall, someone's just come up there. But can you ask Chris Louis what his favourite Eastern Centre motocross track was? I remember as a kid he rode Great Hockham and is that Cossey?
Yeah.
Cossey pits. What did he think of Ling and Blacksall was very quick on a motocross bike?
Oh, there we go. Well, Ling, let's start with the last question. Yeah. Ling was really hard. Very, very, very hard. It used to get so rough. But I kind of enjoyed it. I kind of grew up in sand, really. Eastern Centre was mainly about sand, not all of them, but a lot of them. Blacksall, I really enjoyed. Spent a lot of time at Blacksall. I remember Hockham well. I remember Hockham wrecking your brand new bike because it was all full of Flintstones.
Yeah.
Cossey, I remember, New Cossey up in Norfolk. I remember that place. Rode there a few times. Don't know what my favourite track was really. Could have been Blacksall, to be honest, because I spent so much time there. I wasn't too comfortable around Ellsworth. That was a bit too fast and a bit too hard for me.
Jumpy, yeah.
Every time I fell off, just took so much skin off my elbows and my knees and things. You might as well have been riding on concrete.
Yeah.
So that was a tough one for me. I didn't really like the hard pack. I do remember winning a race at Ellsworth, and I only done one lap. I was the first one to get back to the flag on the 80cc and won the race because it was that bad. They aborted the meeting after the first round of rides. But yeah, probably Blacksall, to be honest, because it was just nice. And I used to love the blast around. Used to kind of join the start straight every lap. Used to ride across into the start straight, and it was just like a massive right-hand corner flat out in about fourth gear. So yeah, it was good fun.
Well, I've just had someone come up and say, Howard Bonewell here has put, "Hey, Jem, who did you enjoy riding with the most?"
Well, team-wise or individual-wise, I suppose.
We'll go for both.
We'll go for both. Well, yeah. Chris. Difficult. Various people, really. I'd say for Reading, I had some great times there. We had some lot of success. I would say probably Armando Castagno, part of Armando a lot, and
Yes.
we just used to go faster and faster and faster. And he said, "Why do you go so bloody fast?" And I said, "Well, it's you. You have to let us go in the corner." He said,
"Trying to get away from you, Armando."
That is mild for Armando, very mild, I might add. And then for Ipswich, early days was John Cook. I mean, we had some great, he's such a good rider to ride with, Cookie. And then later on, of course, Chris. It's but he's about 200 yards ahead of me, so I was at the back end of my career when I partnered Chris.
That's right, keeping everyone away from me, moaning about how grippy the track was.
Oh yeah, I used to sort of get through a chain cover every week. To sort of, that's when Ipswich had real dirt on it. It was about sort of that thick.
Ooh. Real dirt.
Proper stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know. I always enjoyed riding with Mark because I guess we started together. We just didn't get the opportunity to ride together very much, but we had quite a good understanding of each other. 98 was just fun because it was such a dominant team. I was partnered with Sal actually, who probably doesn't get when I hear fans talking about 98 and the success of that team. Sal's someone that doesn't always sort of get much of a mention, but he played such a massive part in that side, as everybody did, 6-man teams then. And we were partnered together, and I really enjoyed riding with Sal as well.
Oh, you can both answer this question. Best of luck with this one. What could you do to improve Speedway in the UK?
Way you go, Don.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think there's actually anything too wrong with the product, really. The product's good. It's not broke, so don't fix it. I think probably that if there's more people who came and watched, then I think that would give a bit more option to be a bit like the Polish league. They kind of that seems to be the place generating a lot more revenue at the moment. So perhaps look how they've done things. I mean, I started off in Poland early on, so you can see they've sort of started from. Well, it always was popular there, but they've sort of gone with the modern times, and they got quite nice stadiums as well. I mean the stadiums have got some nice stadiums, but I don't. There's whatever's worked for them has worked for them. Whether we could use some of their ideas here, it may kind of give us a little stepping stone. But the product's good.
Yeah, I just sort of tend to agree with Don. Poland they've found the investment. They've worked hard. They've taken our model that we had probably about 15, 20 years ago with the sort of original Sky Sports contract. They looked at that and said, that's where we need to be. That's what we should be doing. They've done that and improved on that. They've found good investment from TV contracts, sponsors, local councils. They've rebuilt stadiums. So they've done all the right things. I'm not going to knock them. They've done the right things. You can't take it away from them. And we're kind of like playing catch up now. But it's one of those questions. What would you do if you won the lottery? Make every track a variation of sort of Bellevue and Torren and Gorzow, and improve things that way. But you can't do that. We've got a good variation of tracks. This year, as you said earlier, we had so much to look forward to 2020. So I think, like Don says, we've got a good product. Yes, there's lots of things we need to improve. We've started to make small steps towards that with the Rise and Style program this year. We need more young British riders to improve much quicker. So that's something that needs to be done and is being done. We've got to work. We've got a new broadcast partner with Eurosport who are really keen to see the sport move forward in this country. So we've got to work very closely with them, and I think we've got a bright future coming.
I will just pre-warn you. That's my mum that's just come on, saying, "Is that John Lewis' son?" She's going to say that you were on her lap at some point at Swindon.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I nearly put "Son of Tiger" when it said I'd got to put my name up to come on. I should have done now.
Yes, okay. I'm sure she's going to bring that up.
Love the intro, by the way. I bet, at the start, a bit late.
The nostalgia.
But lovely.
Yeah, exactly that. So what guys did you look up to when you were both young in the sort of grass track and then coming into Speedway? Who were your idols and heroes when you were growing up, looking forward to getting into Speedway?
Well, mine was Tiger Louis.
His son.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
Yeah, thought I'd be married to his mother. No, that is grass track wise. PC, Egon Muller, Ivan Major. I mean, they're all sort of terrific on the grass track. Egon Muller at his peak was absolutely incredible, as with PC on the grass as well. Terrific to watch. I can remember watching Egon at Kloppenburg in the sort of early 80s, and sort of like he was doing about, that was at the time the fastest grass track in the world, and he held the flying lap, the barn record there, and he's just like 150 meters in front of everyone, pulling a wheelie down the straight, the whole length of the straight, 150 meter down the straight, one hand off handlebars waving, and just incredible. It really took the piss.
I love that. God, I love that.
Yeah, terrific to watch. And I don't know how he stayed on either, because like he was going around. I was following him in one race for a little while, briefly, and I did actually beat him off the start. And going around the corners, his bike was so low, it's just troughing and troughing and taking all the tops off the bumps. He's absolutely never sort of like, looked like, rolling it off, or sort of like, he's just bouncing off them and just going faster. Couldn't make it out. Incredible.
Mine probably, motocross wise, which is probably, I was of the age where I was most impressionable then, was following the top Americans. It was like so massive then. Originally, like Bob Hurricane Hanna, showing my age now, aren't I? Jeff Ward, Ron Lachine, those guys, they were legends. None of them got close to Noisy or Dave Thorpe, though. They were British world champions. There's nothing like going to a local round of the the British Championship or a World Championship round, and just the atmosphere, like going to Farley Castle and just being up on the hill there with thousands of other Brits, it was great. And then Speedway, I don't know really. A lot of the Ipswich team, because that's where I was, standing on the terraces watching the lights of Donk. Loved Dennis Sigalos's style, just the way he rode. John Cook, obviously. Those guys. And then much nearer the time when I actually kind of got the bug and to have a go was when Dad was team manager at Hackney in '87. And I drove down a couple of times and stood on the terraces and watched. And seeing Mark, who I knew from the grass track days, actually in his first year and winning races at that level and doing so well, it's probably why I actually had a go. I thought to myself, I don't know, I could do this.
Yeah,
better nick my dad's bike and have a go. So it's probably what happened there.
Did you really envisage that you and Mark would be bouncing off each other trying to win British titles all them years?
Probably not at the beginning. No, it's hard to see. It's what you hope to be doing, but for us both to sort of get there and then have reasonably sustained period near the top of British Speedway and near the top of World Speedway was probably beyond what we both imagined we would both be doing. It was great.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them finals at Brandon. It was very good, especially them days in Brandon when for the British finals. You both experienced that with the overseas final. Obviously, Jem winning that.
Still got the marks on his arms, look, and his back. They're that close.
Mark ate all the rubber from one of those days. He gave me the cleaning bill for his suit.
Did he? Yeah. I think I might have been there when you got really close.
That was a runoff, yeah.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, we got close a few times, but he finished me off in the end. Well, that might be it.
That might be it. Yeah. There's the arm touching there.
That might be what he gave me the bill for, the repair on the suit there. Yeah,
might have been. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few pictures that I'll show you guys as we go in. This will be an interesting one. I'll ask you both this. Someone's asked Chris, in his view, who's the best rider he's seen around Foxhall. Interesting. Better have a think as well, Jem.
Different eras for me.
Yeah, there was a few that you knew, because Ipswich was probably still is to a degree, but it's always been a slightly track. It's a bit Marmite. A lot of riders really didn't like coming to Foxhall. It's the same when Donk's sort of earlier and peak, and then the same with me. Really, you always knew there were some world-class riders that just didn't want to know when they came to Foxhall. Equally, there was some that actually had, got their head around it and went very well there quite regularly, and you knew you were going to be up for a challenge when they came. So, yeah, for me, I think tough riders coming to Foxhall regularly was probably Greg Hancock, Lee Adams, definitely Crumpy. Jason never had a problem. He's a mentally and physically tough guy. So whatever track he faced, he was going to give it 100%. They were probably on a consistent. I mean, Mark, obviously, because he kind of grew up around Ipswich in the early days, and again, a bit like Crumpy, just flat out guy that never got fazed by anything. So he was always a tough competitor. There's a few.
I'll probably say Phil Crump. My era.
Yeah,
Phil Crump.
16 lappers.
Oh, Cross is good, wasn't he? Yeah, the old Albert. Yeah, he was bloody good. And Hans was always very good around Foxhall. And
he was just good everywhere.
Yeah, he was.
In actual fact, to actually take to beat, he was actually probably harder to beat than Gundy, and that's before Hans won a world final. Gundy was a bit vulnerable if you could get off the start, but Hans, he never missed a start. He's dreadfully consistent. Like a machine. Yeah, very, 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 very fast as well.
I guess that does the professor thing come out, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's it.
I've probably through both of our eras, he was the ultimate professional, wasn't he? I mean, they didn't call him the professor for nothing. There was everything about his game, from his mental preparation, his physical preparation, his equipment. He didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, he's hell of a professional, and very tough to beat. And I can remember beating him at Oxford one night, and he sort of he came over to me and said, "Oh, I think there's something." he said, I thought there's something wrong with my bike, but, you know, and that's why you beat me. But then when I saw that you broke the track record, then I thought, oh, my bike must be okay. Mind you, the next race, he knocked about another second off the one I just set. So,
Oh, Jesus.
But,
I remember being as a kid at Swindon, like even when, you know, it was a massive thing to beat him at an away track. You know, the home fans would be like over the moon if he just beat him away.
Yeah. He was incredible. Yeah. There's not that many riders who, with that much consistency. Lee Adams was another one who was, you know, he was very, very consistent, but probably at world stage, Hans could sort of had the ability to sort of raise his game that little bit more as well. Whereas like Eric was sort of more, Gundy was more consistent at a higher level because he could just sort of, it looked as though he could just pull a switch when he got to World Championship. It just sort of flicked that switch and you're going over 10 mile an hour, which raises going that much. And I mean, we had to compete with them when they're at their very top, which made it very difficult for us, but we managed to do it in the end. But very difficult, very near impossible. But we had to do it with looking at how they did it, you know, sort of perfection and more. You know, that's all you could do. Yeah, work hard at it and work harder, basically.
Chris, I know you did quite a few changes on the track as well at Ipswich. I remember seeing that being done and everything. Did that make things a lot different in general?
It did make it better. I think more of the guys are willing to come and you know, give it everything. And it definitely made it safer because it's that much wider that it's got people a little bit more away from the fence. You don't need to be up by the fence. So, in general, I'm pleased. I had expected and hoped that it would make maybe even more improvement than it did. We had a couple of bashes at it. And I think the biggest problem has been the cambers because, you know, you kind of got your set height with the stock car curb that we couldn't do anything about. We kind of got pretty much a set height with the drains on the infield, so we couldn't go down. So we never quite got the cambers right. But ahead of 2020, we'd spent all that winter trying to get the cambers more of an even gradient from top to bottom, which we've done quite successfully. So I'm hoping that obviously in 2021, it's going to be that little bit better again. You know, I'm always looking to try to just make it a little bit better, a little bit better. In the end, you have to kind of stop doing too much because you've got your mainstay of your team in for instance, right now, people like Cameron and Danny that need to not have the track changed every year. So try not to do too much now.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jeremy, you went to Reading. Was that, I believe, when Ipswich went down? Was that right? Went down a league?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I had to find another club to race for. And that was and I think Pat Bliss, they were shorter riders. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and pop up there. Yeah, lovely picture. Yeah, heavily sponsored by. We're all sponsored by National Smokeless Fuels, or the England team was as well. You know, so I think I was the Furnace-site, under the Furnace-site banner. I think Wiggy was under Ansett. Crossy was BQ, barbecue. And I can't remember what Kelvin was. I think Kelvin came in later on. He joined, he got support from Sunbright later on in the years. But, there's another one. That's when, champions. There we go. Yeah, we had two titles there. And I think one year we took the lot. And I don't know why it worked, but it actually did work. You know, I think everyone just gelled from day one, and everyone just helped each other, and it was, everyone had, they're empowered. They're sort of like they just spoke. If they got any issues, got any problems with bikes, everyone shared stuff, and that got us on a good even keel from day one. You know, there's.
So you generally enjoyed the whole experience there, then?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, from day one, I think we all clicked, and I say everyone. I know I was captain of the side, but we're all mini captains, to be honest. There wasn't anyone who was no big egos. We just all wanted to do the job and do the job as well as we possibly could. And so, if anyone had any sort of like tips, or you know, where if someone was struggling, everybody just rallied round to help along and sort of drag them along. And I think in the end, it didn't matter who came at the tail end. They soon got dragged up to sort of near enough be world beaters. It was incredible, and they just got
great
dragged
side,
along.
wasn't it? Great team there.
Yeah, it's a job to sort of win. I mean, Chris, I mean, you've been in championship winning sides before, and you know, and sometimes at the start of the season, the feeling's right, and we're going to do it, and we can really sort of make a go of it, and then it goes flat, and you never really know why. But there's always something that not quite there. But every now and again, when it does click, that's just like a roller coaster, and it's doesn't happen that often. But when it does, it's a very nice ride. You know, it's a nice feeling for everybody involved.
It's that winning feeling, and it makes it easier for everyone. Everyone loves winning, puts a smile on your face, then you can't stop.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, you just like it, and away you go. It's good. Keep doing it. It's great.
I remember you had hell of a side that year that you won, Chris. Was it 98, 99?
98, yeah.
98, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was it was a special side. I think,
yeah.
You know, Thomas, Tony, myself, I think that year we were 1, 3 and 5 in the World Championship.
Yeah,
Tony was Swedish champion, Thomas was Polish champion, I was British champion. I think Sal was under 21 British champion. Svabi was Czech champion. I'm pretty certain Scott had a title of some sort as well. So yeah, it was fun. We were different characters and we gelled well. I mean, certainly at the top between Tony and Thomas and myself, it was very competitive. Whilst we still got on, you know, like you'd sort of towards the end of a meeting, you'd be in heat 13 or 15 or whatever it was with for me, it would be either with Tony or Thomas. And all you'd want to do is, you know, you've got a Grand Prix coming up on Saturday. You just want to beat them by as far as possible to have a slight mental edge on them before you enter the Grand Prix and that sort of thing. So it was ultra competitive, but we rode as a team. And yeah, we started well. We just, you know, I think we only lost about 4 meetings or something in the whole season. So it just breeds confidence in everybody. Everybody was full of confidence, and it just makes it so much easier then, you know, as a team. You go to away meetings expecting to win, and you look at the faces of the guys in the pits when you push your bikes and stuff in, and you kind of get the sense of wondering how many they're going to lose by. It just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. They've definitely sort of bit defeated before it started. Yeah, for sure. It was a great side, for sure.
The good thing those early years at Ipswich is that the early team in 85 or 80, was it 84 or 85 when there's Billy and Cookie and
say 84.
84, yeah, and that is amazing because everyone sort of lived up one street, you know, one to all the Bucklesham Road all the way to Bucklesham, and it's absolutely superb because when all the bikes were done, one will start one end of the road and just drive up, and there's a golf club there and bits and pieces, and and on the way to Siggy had his workshop there, and Big Daddy's place was on the corner.
It was a Speedway community, wasn't it?
That was really, and you quite often go past the local copper. John Gowdy would be there, and Cookie would be riding his sort of mini bike up and down the road, you know, and he goes, "Hello, John. Hello, Cookie. How are you?" And off he goes. He's a local copper, you know. Off he. They're all on board, you know. It's really good community spirit.
And the team doctor was a vet.
Yeah, team doctor was a vet. That was before Bruce, you know, when you applied for Bruce, and that's before we got off the counter. So we're all on horse pills. Like no one could make out how we could recover from it. They're all these pills the size of Smarties.
horse tranquilizers, were they?
Yeah, that's right. Recovered quick. Obviously, everyone knows the benefits of proofing now, don't they? Which is great. And
your hair has never changed, I've noticed in these pictures.
You what? Your
hair has never changed.
Hair's it's just still a mess. Yeah. Well, yeah, I've had, everyone's had a go at it. I think lately it's sort of like, not looking too healthy, to be honest.
I don't know what to do about my next one because my daughter done it first, and then my wife done it. Now, what do I do? Because if I
whose turn is it?
Well, whichever one I pick, the other one's going to have the ump, aren't they? So I don't know what to do now. I'm thinking I'm just going to wait until April the 12th.
I think I've definitely, if I pull that down, I've definitely got the there we are. You can just see it. The
don't do that.
Yeah.
I thought I was back in the 90s then, and I had the curtains and all.
I heard that you're going to get back on a bike anyway, Lee. You're going racing again.
Yeah, I might need a quad, Chris.
Have you thought this through?
Not really. Not really. No.
Yeah, I'm going to make a comeback as Chris as well. We're going to ride number 6 and 7, aren't we, Chris? There we go.
What, in the Rising Star program, we'll fit well, won't we?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
Do you ever just miss having just a go in general?
I've had a few goes. I haven't done for probably three seasons now, I guess. I haven't had a go. I've grown up now and decided enough's enough. But I probably had 4 or 5 laps just about every year since I retired, up until about 3 years ago. So, but the bikes are horrific. We had a few match races, didn't we, Donkey? You officially retired halfway through the match race series at Morton's Testimonial.
Yeah, I came to my senses for about the 10th time and said, "What on earth am I doing?" and that was all like beforehand. It was, let's keep it close. No one do anything stupid or anything like that. And
it was Brian's fault, Brian Anderson's fault.
Yeah, you sort of, the green light comes on and he's on about 13 RPM and sort of like, I've dropped the clutch and then I've sort of this sort of thing, howling thing has come past my ear, kind of sort of claw in the air and sort of like clutch is going like that, and all that sort of stuff. and then I got around halfway in the middle of the corner and he's near enough piled into the side of him, and I thought, well, what on earth what's all this keep it close and all that sort of thing, and they're banging elbows and doing all that, and I thought, And the thing with those speedway bikes, you can't sort of like pussyfoot with them. You have to sort of, you have to be aggressive with, you have to be very aggressive with them and sort of like pin it, and that's exactly what you don't want to do when you get over 50 for sure. And probably.
Oh, I was under 50 then. That's the difference, Don.
That's it. When you hit that milestone, you don't want to be doing it, and you're really saying, "But I have to," and it makes it so much more difficult if you don't peg it going into the turns. If you pussyfoot going in, it makes it twice as hard, and you sort of like, you're hitting bits and pulling bits, and you think.
I actually, somebody asked me the question. I don't know who I was talking to, but yes, I do. Jamie Courtney today about something else, and he asked me the question: What's changed with the racing and everything since like when I was racing and certainly in my early part of my career? And I just said, I think the bikes, and because of the bikes, the riding styles are all the same now. So you don't get what you had when we rode. I rode in teams with I rode Hans's Nielsen's bikes in his farewell in Denmark, and I rode Tony's bike for a whole meeting at Eastbourne, Tony Rickardson, and they didn't have anywhere near the actual horsepower that mine had, but they were winning more races than I was, because they were just different, and their riding styles because of it were completely different. And that's what we had. We had differences in bikes, riding styles, and everything. And I think in some ways it made the racing more interesting. Nowadays, the bikes are all ridden flat out. The engines are all actually quite similar. The riders have grown up knowing they've got to ride them flat out. When I watch a Grand Prix with 16 of the best riders in the world on a good track that's turned out good, maybe at Torrent or wherever, and I see what they do, I'm absolutely amazed. I think, I take my hat off to them. I think they're great.
Yeah, I totally agree with Chris. The modern day bikes, they don't look that easy to ride. Whereas I think if you come from the era where you're an over the front rider from, well, probably me and Chris, ridden the uprights, then moved on to lay down, you appreciate that, you've got you work with the throttle and you can move your weight around. But the guys who've actually learned on the lay downs, they ride them completely different. And the other thing is we've gone through loads of tyre changes. I mean, the classic example is when I went to the 70th Golden Helmet with the other JD and Siggy and Hans, and Ollie was there, and in their bureau room they've got all the 70-year winners on their board, and the times and who finished where. And we're going through the times, and Jason Doyle had won it the year before, and he won it again like the year just gone. And we looked at the eras of 2 valve to when Siggy won it, on the 4 valve Westlake, and then I won it in 89 and 90, and it's like 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 4
on
seconds.
My bike, Donk, on my bike.
Yes, right, yeah. It's on Chris's bike. I'm quite good at winning things on borrowed bikes, actually.
Yeah, you rode it much better than I did.
So appreciate that. Thanks very much. It was a good, nice win, that one. And Jason's time for the winning time was only a tenth of a second faster than what my winning time was on Chris's bike in 1990. So, and Ollie said, well, that's what we'll do. We'll go back to uprights with, and that's what we'll do. But the thing is,
you realise that was 30 years ago, Donk?
Yeah.
Close though, doesn't it?
And I think that's the difference. We've gone through a lot of changes and had to change our riding styles as well. And I think we used to do a lot more on the bikes as well. The modern day riders, they don't really they always talk about setups and got the setup wrong, and I don't really understand that, because we used to actually quite often, if we're going to Wimbledon, we'd half an hour before we'd do leave, we'd be just putting the cylinder head back on, lowering the compression or changing the valve timing, or slinging another cam in, obviously knowing what we're doing, and that's how you learn. So, and that's what we did. And I don't think riders tend to do that too much nowadays. They just, sort of put it in the eyes of the engine tuner and just leave it like that. But we used to do a lot. Well, obviously Chris did as well. And the strange thing, right at the end of the career, where you sort of like, you tried every possible combination you could possibly ever think of, and still won races on. You go back to sort of something which is just nice to ride, where you can ride and you can just ride it fast, and you go a whole circle. It takes a few years, probably 20 years, but that's the
I did ask some of the guys that are racing now, and sort of about all this setups and chasing setups and all that. I said, do you eventually go full circle and end up coming back to this base, so you know where you are? 'Cause it must get crazy.
Yeah, you end up doing that when you've just hit a low point. You've done all this super work. You've gone all around the houses. You've changed everything. You've gone completely downhill. You go back to basics, and then back it comes again with a bit of confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not easy.
No, that's what you got to do. You got to have something that you can always hop on. You're going to score points on, but you always want to try and improve it, and that's natural. You want to, you're climbing up. You're trying to get advantage over your opposition, so you try and get something. If you can gain something mechanically, it's a advantage. If you get something mentally, it's even more advantage. It's all
obviously a lot of the guys now, they do mental coaches and all that sort of side of things as well. Obviously, did you guys ever even get into that part of things?
I touched on it for a while. Only not really. Probably at the wrong time, because I touched on it when I was really struggling with confidence, and it did help a little bit. But yeah, it was. I wish I'd have done it 10 years earlier when I was looking for that last little bit, because I think it would have made a much bigger difference.
Yeah, no, I didn't have that. I don't think they're available. I had a vet as a father, so I was all right.
Good for pain.
Yeah, have a beer, have a good sleep. It'll be all right tomorrow.
That's right, yeah.
A couple of injections, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Actually, let's not mention injections.
No, it's a bad day to be mentioning that.
Yeah, we'll be
there you go. It's Mariola.
Hello, Mario. How you doing? That fella?
Mario.
Yeah. It's been quiet.
On here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got Charles. He's just come on and put. Did Chris know he went through the touch twitch routine at the tapes?
Of course I did.
Did you both have a routine? Did you both have a good routine down in the?
My routine was very obvious, so a lot was made of it, but it actually worked because it affected the opposition far more than it affected me. So
yeah,
I think in the end, the more it was spoken about in the pits, the more I did it. But if you look, although much more subtly, I would say 90% of riders, if you actually study them, have got something, just not as apparent as mine.
Mine used to be the last of the tape, but it used to take about half an hour if Chris was in the race, because he wanted to be last.
Yeah, you're doing that.
You'd run out, mate, Doug, if you got there with me, you'd run out of fuel before the tapes went up.
Well, this is it. Yeah, the sort of the mechanics in the middle, topping up with fuel. Yeah.
I don't think a few of them were telling the truth when they told me about mind games at the tapes and things like that. I remember, I think I mentioned it to Hans and a couple of others. There was definitely some shenanigans going on at the tapes, without a doubt.
It does work.
It was all part of it.
Yeah.
It does work. Yeah, you can say good, Chris. Go on.
Yeah. I think, especially at the top end, there's certain riders that you can affect, either by just playing around at the start and winding them up, or by maybe having your handlebars over their line when you know that they want to, even if you don't want to start there, just do it just to wind them up. So if you wound up, they went quicker. So you had to kind of know who to play around.
Might wind them up.
Yeah, and if you knew that certain riders would react to you if you moved at the start, you could put them through the tapes quite easily. You don't see as much of that, not intentionally these days, but if there were certain riders I knew, if they were on an inside gate of me looking across me to the tapes on the outside or the inside, just one quick flick of the fingers on the clutch, and 8 times out of 10 they'd be straight in. So it was all just part of the job. There's less of that now, I think, than there used to be.
Yeah, it used to be the old shake the leg and someone would go through the tapes, wasn't it? Or Bo Peterson used to be. John Berry used to say to me, if Bo Peterson was next to you at the start line, he puts his leg in your box, he said, just stand on it. So, and I did once, and that. Yeah, he said, what did you do that for? But I made the start.
So it woke you up. Chris got Paul Harry here as well. Evening, Jem, Lee, Chris. What great blokes. And he's put Jem was a proper hero of mine then. To win the British best pairs on grass track with him was pretty cool. Yeah,
that was a while back there. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, nice one. Good to hear from you.
Paul.
Yeah.
He was Paul's our mascot my very first year at Hackney. He was
the mascot then, was he?
He was the mad kestrel running around in a kestrel suit. Yeah. He needs to come back on and tell us all about that.
Yeah, come back on and tell us about that.
It's a brilliant grass tracker, brilliant long tracker. Yeah, really, really. And he's passing it all down to the youngsters. He's sort of bringing up some terrific sort of young grass trackers, and and his dad Graham. I mean, they've got some beautiful grass tracks. They run and organise. That one at Road Minnis when he Graham, that was his dream to get that back open again. That was a real treat to ride on that place. It's all of them swing swirls. They're absolutely terrific down that way. Grass tracks.
it was injuries really that sort of held him back. I mean, he was just as good a speedo rider. I was watching on something popped up on Twitter, and there was an Oxford Test match against the Aussies, and he was in that, and he was a good speedo rider as well.
Yeah, he's strong, and he could mix it. He can mix it with the best. Yeah, it's shame he had. He just got injured at the wrong time, really, right when he's sort of like making that turn, sort of really coming through, and just arm handle it. Well, he broke 2 legs grass tracking, and he's had dreadful problems with those. And
his latter arm injury as well has held him back. But yeah, shame.
Nice one, Paul. Good one.
Still back at it, isn't he, for this year?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah. I was speaking to him about it. Yeah.
He obviously hadn't done enough miles. I mean, we've done more miles than the Starship Enterprise. He's still got a few more to do, hasn't he?
Starship. Got Barney here as well. Said evening all 3, and I think it's your birthday today, Barney. So happy birthday for today.
Happy birthday, Barney.
Yeah, happy birthday, Barney. Yeah, all the best.
Have a good one. I was going to ask you about engines. I always ask the guys, Speedway guys, did you have like some favourite engines? I know that a lot of you had nicknames for engines and things like that. Did you have some special ones that worked for certain things?
Well, we had the same engine tuners for a while, and Trevor Hedgie initially. Then I went with to Peter Johns, and spent a lot of time with Peter, good mate of mine. And but I can remember this one engine Trevor done, and it was called the Black Top, and that was everybody wanted it, and they used to come out for the big meetings, and whoever got it, I think I won a couple of big, Commonwealth, at least one Commonwealth final on it, and like everyone was sort of like, and it was known that as the works, the GM works sort of motor, so everyone was trying to get their hands on it. I think you had it once and finished it off, didn't you, Chris? The Kingsland.
The one I wrecked a bike with.
GM skip.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, the rod absolutely demolished the whole bike. It went through the exhaust pipe, the diamond, the magic box. Yeah, absolutely wrote the bike off.
They were so shocking early days, weren't they? They're so shocking. You could sort of. I can remember being Mond once and just left with an 8mm bolt holding the stud for the exhaust and the whole thing. It took out the gearbox, the lot. And
there's the famous picture of Don Godden's head in Rick Miller's Diamond in a picture at Coventry. He's in the crowd, and where the engine should be is Don Godden's head. He had it up in his office because the rod had snapped, broken every engine bolt, and the engine had come right out, gone.
I'm surprised we're still alive, really, because like sometimes, I mean, I blew one up sitting next to Scully once at Poole, and there's all hot oil come up under my chin, and a bit of crankcase got wedged in my crash helmet, and that place for knocking out Condors was a bit of a funny play, because one of the guys, I think, blew one up halfway down the straight, and a bit crankcase went and flew out and hit him in the eye, and he was about 3 stories back in the crowd. So poor bloke, It
was interactive in them days. Yeah, it was great. It's not that dangerous anymore. So get yourself to Speedway.
nearly blind yourself. Poor bloke. But I did write to him and go and see him, and he's really appreciative. But I'm glad to say that they got over that problem, and they're terrific engines actually. They're very, very reliable now, and the materials are very good. And I was a GM Works rider as well in later years, so it was that was good. But the early ones weren't so good. But there you go.
The Jawas were reliable. I was a factory Jawa rider for 6 years, I think, and they were reliable. They were good.
Yeah, I can remember sort of lending one of my GMs. Eric Gunser was in trouble once in Oxford, and his brother Praven came up to and said, "Can we borrow a bike? Eric's struggling with his, and it's something wrong with it." So I lent him his spare bike, and he went out and beat hands on it from the back at Oxford, and I was just like, gobsmacked because I thought, well, that's my spare, you know. So I thought,
You're on the wrong one.
yeah. So I thought I better ride that in the next race. That was a kiss of death. Just ended up.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Before I speak to you both about tracks, I'm just going to put this up because Adam Poulter put just to say thanks to Chris for all you've done for our club. You will always be our number one. Hope you say this to him, Lee.
Oh, great. Well, thanks very much. It's been a privilege, to be honest. You know, Ipswich boy through and through, dad at the club and everything. So I probably wouldn't have done anything else. I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's good fun.
Actually, I was going to ask you both. Have you ever got close to signing for any other British clubs? Normally ask guys that.
Well, every year I was linked to be going to Coventry, but I can honestly say not once did Coventry ever speak to me. But every year I read I would be going to Coventry that year. So I think the only, when I was at Ipswich, the only club that actually spoke to me one year was Oxford, early days, probably about when when Ipswich went up to the British League. Hans, I can't remember who the promoter was then, might remember, but Hans had been onto him and said, you know, that they should try and sign me. So they did talk to me. It's the only time I got into any conversation with any other club to leave Ipswich.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I think Hull, Bowie rang me up once when I couldn't get fixed up the first division. That's when we all had stuck in that horrible average game, and they're still crying out for riders in other leagues, but it just didn't make it feasible. The average was like times 2.5 or something like that, so it just made it impossible to fit in anywhere. So, but yeah, no. Other than that, it's just the two clubs for me.
Yeah, I think with me, because Dad was the promoter as well, I think everybody just thought, I'm going to be at Ipswich, whatever happens. So that probably helped or didn't help, whichever way you want to look at it. But I never had the inkling to leave Ipswich anyway.
I was going to ask you, did you ever think at some point, should I move away just for like the different track thing? Or
a few people, sort of 4 or 5 years in, a few people did sort of say to me and suggest, do you think maybe just a change of home track's going to move you on a bit quicker? And but fairly early on in my career, I was getting the opportunity at lots of different tracks, and then I went to Sweden, and obviously Poland opened up. So I just felt I was getting those tracks anyway. So to ride at home down the road for a club I wanted to be at just made more sense.
Made sense. Yeah, made sense all around. Favorite tracks for you guys in the British League to start with?
Dogs puffing and blowing.
Yeah. Well, that sort of varies. I used to like Bradford. Used to like Kings Lynn a lot. So it got a bit sort of hairy with the clay on, and you sort of go lower and lower and lower, try and make it break away in the middle of the corner. And you still haven't got a skid on. That used to frighten me a bit then. But I used to like Wolverhampton. Then they changed that, and I had a mental block where the riders come in halfway around the corner. I just felt as though I was going to hit the fence on the exit of it, which something just, my eyes just kept looking at that post. I've seen a few riders hit it since behind you, mind you, but it did put me off at the time. Reading was great when it was good. Ipswich was fantastic. It was always prepared well, and I say like those for a home track, I would say they were my favourite tracks as well, Ipswich and Reading.
Yeah, I can understand that. Reading was disliked by many visitors because for a lot of the time it was quite bumpy, wasn't it? Which put them off. So it was a good home track.
We used to have the Reading ski jump.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not a lot different. I'm not a lot different to Donk. I mean, Ipswich, obviously, because I just spent 20 years, my whole career in this country there. But I really enjoyed Bradford. Found it a really tough place to go when I first went there. But then I used to really enjoy riding it. Kings Lynn, opposite with Donk, when it got real grippy, when a guy called Huggy was preparing the track and it was all just clay. I really loved it. I used to really enjoy going there. And then latter part of my career, for some reason, I loved Lakeside. I spent most of my career hating it, and then the last 3 or 4 years getting every guest booking that was going there because I just loved it. So that was a bit of a strange one.
Did you ever ride the old Hyde Road, Chris? The old,
I did, Donk, but it was a Supercross then.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, Jeff Ward was there actually. I wasn't racing against him. I was in the schoolboys, but Jeff was there. He weren't bad. He was getting it on.
I dropped the picture on him as well when I did the interview with him. I actually dropped the picture of him there.
Well, from the hard cross at Bellevue.
Yeah, and see if he'd remember, and he remembered.
I remember on the Friday when we all turned up. We were all in awe. Yeah, there's Jeff Ward. It's just a bloke we see on TV. We don't ever actually get to see him in real life. Yeah. And they asked him to do a couple of laps for the cameras for the local BBC or whoever was there. And reluctantly, he did. And they'd built this track that, in fairness, they thought was very difficult and really good. It did prove difficult, but it wasn't real good. And he went round just standing on the pegs, like quarter throttle everywhere, and cleared everything on the first lap, just standing up. And the organisers were absolutely devastated.
Yeah,
he made it look easy.
Yeah, these boys do that, don't they? They are flipping good at that. Phil Alkin here has put, did you keep any race jackets, leathers, Kevlars from over your great careers?
I kept most of my race jackets and most of my race suits. I haven't kept bikes or any equipment or anything, but I've got a few crash helmets that I had paint jobs on, and yeah, I've got the race jackets and the Kevlars.
I've got a few race jackets, one set of Kevlars, and that's a bit. But I've got 2 bikes. My first grass track bike, me 500 Jap, and my last long track bike, which is sitting up in the summer house in the workshop. So that's the first and the last.
I've got a couple of pictures here on
the leg breaker, the last one.
I've got a couple of pictures here.
Oh, there we go. That'll be it. That's on. That is the bike. Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. Good timing. Getting it. Yeah, on my PJR. That I think you'll find that's looking at it. It's in Mond, I reckon, because you know all about that, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, I got roped into that, didn't I, Don? By someone. scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, well, Don phoned me up. I'd heard about Mond, but I'd never been there. I wasn't a grass tracker. I'd done one senior grass track in my life about 10 years earlier, and he phoned me up and he said, "I think did you get injured at Reading or something or somewhere the night before?"
I was riding, so.
Okay, so a meeting came on, and his bike was en route, I think, with Kai Nimi, and he phoned me up literally the day before and said, "Do you fancy getting yourself a flight to Mond? You can take me bike and ride in the meeting." I said, "Don't. I'm not a grass tracker." He said, "Just take my start money," which was actually quite good.
Change your mind then, did you?
No, so I said, "Yeah, all right, yeah, I'll go give it a go." So I rocked up. Kai being Kai, I think it was Kai, wasn't it, that took your stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he turned up about 5 minutes before the meeting was due to start, so I had no practice, and I couldn't work out the gearbox. So I just said to someone, "I'm only light, put it in second. I'll just go with that." So they pushed me off, and I looked across my very first race. I looked across the start line, and I think I was in gate 5. And on the inside of me was Wiggy, Marcel, Gerd Riss, Crossy, and I looked to the outside of me, and there was Roscoe. I beat Roscoe.
I was just about to say, was you thinking, oh, I got Roscoe here?
I beat Roscoe, yeah. I think that was the only person I beat. I'd done me 3 rides and then got changed and really enjoyed watching the rest of it.
But you had the experience. Yeah,
I did have the experience, and it was an experience because for anybody that doesn't know my Mond, it's a triangle. It's you go off the start, you've got a slight turn, then you go down a straight, and then you have to turn like you're at lakeside and go back on yourself. Then you go down to the big fast corner, which is like a traditional flat out big grass track corner, and then back through the start finish line, little flick. So it was interesting.
that's a great place to ride. I mean, I was there on one year when George Hack was there, and we all travelled down in Smudge's van with PC and Phil. I think that was at the times when he could pay for one and there'd be 10 in the van on the ferry, that sort of thing. It was a real cheap trip, so that was very appealing. I think we went to south of France with all the tolls paid for, whatever, the whole trip, 30 quid each. That is we're on an earner,
Yeah.
And we made the final. Most of us made the final, which is even better. And I think Phil Collins was racing there as well. And this is quite funny because George Hack, I mean, he sort of likes to ride the boards, and I think me and PC got away in the final, and we saw this sort of like big cloud of dust coming from the big turn corner, which you have to peel off the fence, go across the apex of the corner, and then sort of touch the other side of the fence, along the straight. And
I like that. Very relaxed. Touch the fence. You're only doing about 80 mile an hour.
Exactly.
Only about 80 mile an hour. And sort of me and PC, we were sort of like, well, we don't. Yeah, we were on the edge of the dirt, but not really enough as you want to be in the soup sort of thing. Well, George was really in the soup, and he actually sort of passed us both on the fence, but not on the fence, but actually rode up the fence about. I reckon he was about halfway up the fence, sort of absolutely straight, and passed us, and then came off the fence, and his bike whipped in half more or less, and spat the chain off, and the race was stopped. I think because Smudger fell. There's a ditch on the inside, and for some reason he could see all hell let loose and went in a ditch, but they stopped the race anyway. And I said to PC said to us, he said, Christ almighty, did you see that? Did you see George? And PC asked him, and he said, George, have you a problem with the fence? And he says, no, I have no problem with the fence. It's the chain is the problem on the bike. He's just using the grip, but I mean, it's not like Exeter where you sort of like, you use the berm, and this is like, I reckon he was, well, near it, well, about 3/4 away up the fence, must have been. He's an incredible rider, that on the grass track, that George Hack. I mean, can you remember the Ace of Aces and when he was down there at Porton Down, down that way, and I followed him in one of the heats in down there, and he's actually going into the corners, and he's going so fast, and he had so much gas on and he's so low, his butt cheeks was bouncing on the ground as he was going into the corner, and I just do not know how he stayed on, and like he's allowing the butt cheeks of his arse to sort of keep him upright. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, fair play. Things you remember.
Clive Tilley just put. You guys didn't mention Exeter in your favourite tracks list, or are you both too young to remember that one?
Oh no, you don't forget that one. I didn't mention it purely because it wasn't one of my favourites.
Yeah, exactly that.
It was my second away meeting when I started at Hackney my very first year. Wow. So I'd ridden Hackney and I'd ridden Rye House at this point, which is obviously like a tiny, tiny little track.
Yeah.
And then we went to Exeter, and I was riding at number 7, so I was in heat 2. And I can remember standing by the pit gate, this big steel heavy gate, and I'm just standing there, and Heat 1 goes past it, and they just go, woof, 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 and the gate goes.
No, we lost him.
Well, it stayed.
Hey,
We just lost you for a second, then you froze.
oh,
Right in a
yeah,
really nice position, you were like that.
yeah, all good.
literally
Yeah,
stood
no,
there,
the gate was just going in the wind as the riders went past so fast, and I just wondered what I was doing there. I really did.
I'll ad lib when you do it again.
Okay.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
It was
What about
scary.
you, Jem? What about you, Jem?
I didn't mind Exeter. I mean, some of the Aussie tracks. I mean, we mentioned that tracks earlier. That some of those tracks were very clever. You know, the concrete, like the showgrounds at Brisbane was a concrete. I remember seeing Pop Rivet go around there and past Kelvin and frighten the life out of Kelvin. It was sort of like he gets excited at the best of times, sort of like Kelvin and Pop Rivet. And the pair of them were well excited, and we were absolutely. I think me and Cockerford were watching Marvin. You know, Marvin Cox. We were watching. We're just absolutely. Our eyes were popping out of our heads as well watching it. But yeah, so you got bits of concrete. It's not so. It's a bit intimidating when there's some of the tracks. there's a steel fence, and they have to go around and bang all the jagged bits of metal in with a sledgehammer before you sort of start the meeting. That sort of like puts you on your back foot a little bit, I think, and sort of they do teach you a bit of respect, you know, or treat tracks with a bit of respect. Those type of tracks. But so Exeter was quite tame actually. If you've been to a few of them.
I got Stuart Hare here now. He's put, you were my hero, Donk, especially when you played in goal at a five-a-side. And Chris.
Yeah.
Some great memories when Dad used to take us to motocross, and it did piss me and Lowell when you used to swap your goggle lenses for ours because yours were scratched.
Yeah, they used to steal my goggle lenses. We had some. We had some.
Oh, he's froze.
Lost them again.
Great loss.
Yeah, we'll come back.
You froze
there.
there.
Actually, Dewey and I were talking on the phone a few days ago because he's going to come around and fix me fence, I think, one day. Dewey, please.
There we go. Get the shouting.
And he was talking about that motocross meeting that I spoke about Ellsworth when I won the race after one lap, and we couldn't get off the car park. We were about, I don't know, 13, 14 then, and we had Dewey and Lowell's dad's Papa Hare's Sherpa camper van, and they were all pushing, and I had to drive it. It was they were the days.
Yes.
Those five-a-sides, that football was. In actual fact, we thought we blew Dewey up once. We thought we'd burst him like a pack of crisps. You know, the five-a-side football got a bit sort of heated in the end. That sort of got disbanded.
A bit heated, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's like a load of orthopedics playing as well. There's Chris with his knee brace and it squeak and it would go, and you have to stop with a 30mm spanner and sort of do his brace up and a bit of WD-40 and then outbreaks of violence every now and again. That sort of
a bit of competitiveness. Yeah.
I broke my wrist. I broke my wrist playing five-a-side there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. When I was in goal, that was just you did. Yeah, it's sort of like saved by deflection when you go like that and sort of go great save, Dong. It was like
Scott Nichols took a shot at me and I got in the way of it, broke my wrist.
Wow. All the stuff you lot do when you do that.
That's just for fun.
Yeah. Sean Nichols used to play as well.
Sean used to scare me.
Yeah, I think he scared everyone in the end. I think it was when he picked that bloke up by his throat about. He said, "That's not how you play football, mate." No, fair play. That was. In actual fact, that started a bit of fun and it carried on a lot of fun actually. But in the end, we all got too knackered to sort of do it. To be honest.
Dewey did speak to me privately, and he sort of was talking about that you guys were quite close and all that, and you had your circle of friends and everything. He was saying, obviously, I had my interview with Lowell. He was just basically saying, did you guys get affected about when obviously Lawrence got injured? It must have been difficult all round in general.
Yeah, it was. It was tough for everyone. You know, it was. For me, it was the sort of closest to home serious injury that I'd really sort of been a part of, and yeah, it did. I mean, I broke my back in Sweden not that long afterwards, and you could tell the effect that it had on everyone, because when I was laying underneath the fence, the first person to sort of get to me was Scott, and the first thing he said is, "Can you move your legs? Can you move your legs?" So it was just ingrained in everybody's head. You know, it really did have a massive effect on everyone. So yeah, you know, it's obviously been really tough on Lawrence and the whole family.
Yeah, it's like what Chris said. You know,
done the right thing by.
Lost doing it. I'll ad lib again.
Okay. Did you get any of that, or was it just talking to yourself?
Yeah, just the last little bit. It's just that little bit.
Yeah. No, it was tough times for everybody around Lawrence. But you know, his family rallied around him, and you know, I see Lowell not as often probably as I should, to be honest, but we get out to go for a curry nearby where he lives, probably 3 or 4 times a year. So and he gets up to Speedway every now and again. But you know, it's tough for him, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, we'd go for a few more carries if he didn't decide to run over top of roundabouts, and you know.
Yeah.
But no, he's still got a sense of humour, which is good. Yeah.
It did have a good laugh on his interview. It was good.
Yeah.
And he's still got a conspiracy theory or two, I can tell you. He's got a conspiracy theory for everything.
Are we talking Area 51 here, or?
Oh, he'll have one for that. I mean, you know, that's long gone. That's old news. But Donald Trump. Anybody?
Oh, I love that.
That's Virgin Media
But he's got
an advert for him.
Virgin Media. Well, I've got something here that someone's put. Ask Donkey about the 1985 Knockout Cup final, Oxford. Ipswich needed a 5-1 in the last heat and were in front before John Cook took Donk to the fence. Some suggested Cookie did it on purpose to spite promoter John Berry. What's Jem's views? All the old memories are coming back now. Look, people dishing the dirt. People dishing the dirt.
I like this one.
Well, my view
is your internet just gone down?
Just do what I do and freeze. Go.
Yeah, just. That's it.
He made a mistake. You know, we were together. He looked over his shoulder and he picked up a little bit in the middle of the corner, corrected it, but it just threw me offline, and that was just enough. So we went obviously to 5-1 to a 3-all, I think, in the end, because I think Troy Butler come under us, I think, and but it's just enough slight. I mean, he hardly makes any mistakes, Cookie, but certainly wasn't deliberate. But John Berry was looking to pick a fight with anyone, I think, that night. So I think Cookie copped it, and that was it. And I think Cookie and JB never got on at the best of times. So I mean, that just sort of he saw his opportunity then to sort of vent all that sort of like the several years of sort of goodwill between them, and chose that moment. So, but JB to this day, well, you know, if you have a séance and ask him, he'll say that he did it on purpose. But riding with him at the time, it wasn't on purpose. That was it's just went slightly offline, hit a little patch, little hole, and you know, if you're sort of inches apart, you only need something and it can throw you totally offline, which it did.
My favourite memory of Cookie from an actual Speedway point of view, because there's many others, was you'll remember this one well, was when they'd done the World Games at Wimbledon, and he turned up from somewhere, no bike, no kit, no nothing. Donk was there, and it was a pairs event, and it was a big deal. All the top pairs there from every nation or team, and I think he borrowed a twin cam Jawa from someone. They had been in for several years. He borrowed a green army set of overalls from someone else. Ended up top scoring, and you two won the meeting, didn't you?
That's it. We did, yeah. That was incredible. I'd got a concussion as well, so I wasn't really feeling up to it. But sort of like was, but Cookie was absolutely awesome. He did all, you know, and I think they had some strange pairings because it wasn't actually an English pairing. It was sort of me and Cookie, and then you had Larry Ross and Kenny Carter. And poor old Larry Ross, he didn't know what was going on, I don't think. He just but and eventually Cookie had some camouflage camo leathers made, but that I say had nothing underneath. They had no kit, you know. And someone lent us some boots, so I mean it's nothing. If he ever would have come off, you know, he would have got a sort of gravel wax backside for sure. Yeah, but
great.
Good fun.
Jem, didn't you used to have a bit of gear, didn't you, off of Amanda Castagna for the old? I'm sure you used to have like the gloves he had and things like that, didn't he? But
the old Amelie gloves. The sort of the size of my hands look. They sort of like the Amelie gloves. They had made to measure, and they thought the gloves were bigger. No, it's just sort of got such sort of mongrel looking hands. They're sort of like They made me hands look big on the handlebars, but no, that's just the size of them. That's why I could start with one, with like a trial start and slip the clutch, because my fingers are long and had the old English clutch levers, which no one
cut your fingers off.
About an hour on start lessons now.
Yeah, look, Paul said he's still got his goggles that Jen gave him back in '85, the day before he first ever bonfire burn up, which he won.
Yeah, well,
there we go.
Yeah, they're blast from the past. Cookie used to bring them over, and they're pretty good goggles. Yeah, they were, and and then I think they made handlebar grips as well. So we had Amy grips. And so Mondo was great, where his town is, well, I can't pronounce it now, but he's going to swear at me for that. I can't pronounce his town where he lives. Oh, he's Agno. There we go. Said it. There we go. And his brothers, Paolo. I mean, they all used to ride. Great laughs over, but around in that area was all the manufacturers for crash helmet and gloves and boots, and it's a good little area for him. And he was great. He used to pop over in the winter and go and visit all the factories and sign the agreements with them, and pick up helmets and boots, and that's like he used to do it quite regularly. Every year, and that was really good, and it helped. They always used to turn up at the Golden Gala at Lonigo, and it helps if you're successful there as well. And I think one year, in actual fact, the 10th anniversary of the Golden Gala, you win a golden steel shoe, and it's quite. It is like Conora 585, I think it is. So it is gold. And that particular year, I think Eric Gunderson was there. He was determined to win it, and as was we all. And that was another time when I borrowed someone's bike because I was winning races, but my hands were stinging because the bike was vibrating really bad, and I think I got something broken on the frame, or there's something that wasn't quite right, but I couldn't keep my hands on the handlebars. And Amando's brother Mariano came over and he said, he said, "Oh, what's wrong with your bike?" And I said, "Oh, it's wrong." He said, "Well, you can borrow mine." And Mariano had actually was selling his bike and had retired. And I said, "Well, is no one injured?" "No, I can't sell it. No one wants to buy it. You know, they don't want me at sensible money." So he offered me his bike and said, "You know, you ride it." So did one practice start, went to the final, won the final, right, which was great. 6-lap final, and got the steel shoe. It was great. Mariano was so chuffed that he was like, because he said, "Thanks very much." He said, "Unbelievable." He said, "No one wanted to buy my bike before the start of the meeting." He said, "Now there's 3 or 4 people, and it was like an auction." And he said, "Look up," and he put the price up. He said, "It was great." So
Did all right out of it in the end then.
all right, yeah. No, it's another story. So I do all right. Chris's bike, won a golden helmet on it, and Mariano's bike, and won a golden steel shoe. So that's good.
There you go, look,
And
Chris.
it wasn't bad either.
That was Ukraine, Lvov, I think, 1990. Yeah, judging by the race jacket. It's a giveaway.
Oh yeah.
World Under-21 Championship, that was, yeah. That was a rough experience being in Ukraine back in them days. Yeah, it was a strange place. I actually took my wife there that time. She wasn't impressed with being chased by cockroaches around the bath and stuff.
Oh wow.
It's what you had to do if you wanted to go on these trails and try to win things.
Yes. Was that special to you at the time?
Yeah, because I'd 89, which was my second season. I'd made the Under-21 World Final in Lonigo, and lost the title in a runoff with Gert Hamburg, Danish guy who was going really good at the time. And so that was a real, second year was a massive achievement to be there, but then to come so close to winning it. So I think 1990 was just ruled by the fact that I was going to get to the final and I was going to win it this time. So yeah, it was pretty special, and it rained all meeting, so the track was real tricky, which kind of made it even more special.
Nice. I got there you go, Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah. That's the other one.
Yeah, see?
That was on Chris's bike. Yeah.
Is that the one you did on Chris's bike, was it?
That one is, yeah. Yeah.
I all day I'd been burning the clutch on that bike, and when I Don said he'd got a problem, so he said, "Right, come, Nigel, my mechanic, get the bike ready. Don's going to go and take it out in the final." And we pushed him off the top of the hill down onto the track, and last thing I said to him was, "Don, whatever you do, don't do any practice starts. You've got a 6-lap final, and I've been burning the clutch all day." So he goes down onto the track, goes down onto the back straight, does a start, and I thought, oh, well, that's hopeless now. Comes back onto the home straight, does another practice start, and I thought, oh, he's got no chance. He's not even going to get a lap out of that now. Goes off gate 6, makes a reasonable start, passes everyone down the back straight, wins the race, and so we go down, we give him the bumps and stuff, and then I grab the bike, put my hand on the clutch, it's stone cold.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it.
Unbelievable.
Very annoying.
Yeah, very annoying. Yeah. Got another nice one there. Look.
Oh,
Christ, that's an old one.
That must be it. Old Bellevue, I reckon. Oh no, Kings Lynn. I reckon that's probably Commonwealth final, or is it the old Hyde Road? Can't.
No, I don't think it's built up enough for Hyde Road, is it?
No. That must be. Yeah, that might have been Saddleway Road Commonwealth final. Hazard a guess. Can read on the medal.
No, can't. No, definitely not.
That's a British final, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, British final. Yeah, that would be.
What year?
I'm thinking that's 98, I guess.
98. I like the old cash. got a bit of a task going on there.
Yeah, I think it looks like I've just returned from Poland or somewhere. I think in the van, probably.
Not a time for the shave.
I'm looking a bit second-hand there, aren't I?
Second-hand winner, I do they?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, exactly that.
That's one feeling I don't miss, the old fatigue.
No.
That was overseas final, Coventry.
Yeah.
1990. 90, yeah.
See on the top of the Speedway star there.
I think I got a max that day. What year is that then, Chris?
Oh, that's my second one. That'd be 2000. That would rained all right. Everyone said I couldn't ride in the mud and the rain.
Oh.
I think it says about it as well. Is it on that one? It says something about
raining.
Master of the Wet. Master of the Wet to lift the second title on the front of the Speedway.
Yeah, I was making good starts. So I was getting to the old berm first, so that helped. But I think I did miss one start, and I did somehow find a way past in the rain and the mud. But no, that was probably the most satisfying one, actually, doing it in bad conditions, to be fair.
Yeah. Obviously, that must have meant a lot, winning the British final twice.
Yes, it was massive. I mean, I don't know, maybe things are just different back in your day, if you like. You get older, but those days at Coventry just seemed so big and so special. I mean, just travelling up in the van from Ipswich, you go past loads of cars with flags, from Ipswich or maybe other tracks hanging out the window, and everyone bibbing at you as you drove past and stuff. They were just real special days, and I'm sure Donc's got the same sort of memories.
Yeah, people could travel then, and obviously it's sort of, it's so much added cost now, isn't it, getting in the car. I mean, it's not so bad if you sort of like split it up with coach travel, and and you've got enough people going. That makes it enjoyable and cost effective. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah.
That's got your attention, Donk.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention I saw Kenny Carter ride at the British final in the wet, but I don't think I'll mention that now. But
it's something more interesting to talk about.
Yeah. That must have been, put my glasses on, can't see where my hand is. Yeah.
It's a lovely trophy, Donk. It is.
It is.
Lovely trophy.
That must have been the ace of aces. Yeah. That'll get me a divorce, won't
it?
There we go. Yeah, British final day. Ipswich fans always made the most noise on they always stood on the sort of entrance to the back straight, second turn. Yeah, good days.
Yeah, they looks good fun. Good bunch. Well, everyone looks not very happy there, do they?
Bradford, Donk, that one.
I think that was the Gunderson
Might have been when
as well, when
Gundy
you won
got
it.
injured,
Yeah. That was a sad day.
Yeah, very bittersweet. That one.
Yeah, but good result. But
yeah, very weird.
I think we were up to win it anyway. To be honest, we were on a level playing field by then. We'd managed to raise our game high enough, to certainly topple the Danes. But obviously, that's really sad, really shocking, that first race with Eric.
Yeah.
Well, life changing injuries for him, absolutely. And with other riders, since as well, isn't it? That's one of the lines, isn't it? Yeah, it does happen, and that well brought it home that day. It can happen anyone, anytime.
Pocket, right. 93, first world final, yeah. And a run off with Hanks.
Didn't you both have? Yeah. Didn't you both have run-offs for second, I believe, didn't you, when you both finished third in the one-off ones?
Yeah, Donk, you had one in.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I had one with Wiggy in Munich in '89.
Yeah, Munich. Yeah.
But that is a nice stadium, Munich. Bit flat. Roman Matacek decided to sort of like he liked the wood on the inside more than the shale.
bit like Ipswich, you like the wood on the outside more than the shale.
Yeah.
Poor old Roman. Oh, that's the old blast from the past. Old Pratty and JB. Look, that was oh yeah, there's Calvin, Richard Knight, the old buddy Snagy, Phil Collins, Moore, Kenny Carter. Yeah, it's good side that. But that looks like Cradley actually. Cradley Heath. Is it? Let's put the glasses on again. Yeah, definitely Cradley. Yeah, I think we they were good, those test matches.
Yes.
We had to sort of do some funny overnight flies. I think Chris would probably done a few of those as well. But we had to. There's so much Saturday night Speedway, and they decided to put test matches on a Sunday in different countries, and we had to all meet up at Stansted, and that's when Stansted was literally just a shed, and we'd all meet up there, and we'd get on these little Cessnas, and it's sort of a bit intimidating when you see them sort of like get a gallon of oil and pour it in the engine, and then all the sensible ones would get off and get in the other plane, But
we both got to race all the test matches with America, Sweden, Denmark, Australia. It was good times as well when you had them test matches. I remember them.
Yeah, I loved the test matches because it was such good camaraderie. Every time I pulled on an England race jacket, it was very special, and I know it was the same for Donk. I just absolutely, there's nothing better than riding for my country.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I mean, it's full on. It was all good stuff at the time, and they're big meetings. The test matches drew very good crowds. Some of them are really, really tightly fought, and that's what everybody comes to see. There's some more good pits there. That looks like is that Bradford again?
That looks like Bradford.
Yeah, and that's when I think me and Calvin were the old boys then, unless let's bring some youth. Yeah, and Forby. Yeah. Pratty and Bowie are good. They're good fun. That's the young generation, I reckon. That must have been. Where do you reckon that was then?
I've got absolutely no idea. Does it not say at the top?
No, I'm just looking at that. Dean Standing, Colin Pratt, Raymore, and it doesn't say where.
That's probably Reading if you got Dave Mullett and.
I'm guessing it must be.
Could be, yeah.
Did Ray ride for Reading then?
Ripper did, and Dave Mullett did. Yeah. And Ray
was an ex-motocrosser from my era.
He raced motocross as well, did he, Ray?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, Scoey.
That's Bidgosh. It's when the World Team Cup went to back to a pairs event. Me and Mark and Scoey went to Bidgosh and got a silver medal. It was great. It was good fun. We woke up and heard about 8 o'clock in the morning. We heard bikes going around the stadium, and when we turned up, we were told that it was Jacek and Thomas Golub getting some morning practice in for the evening, for the afternoon as it was. So that was a bit annoying. And then me and Mark met them in our opening heat, and we got a 5-1 over them, and the whole stadium went silent for about the next 3 races.
That's nice. That was nice. That was good.
Oh yeah, that's an early one. Looks like I'm on a Jower then. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was a battery Jower rider for a couple of years as well. They were good, the first single cans when they came out. That was.
Who's that on the inside of you, Dom?
Just about ask that.
I think that is
I normally know more, but I don't know that one. Sorry.
John Skilson. Is that how you
Okay,
pronounce
if you
it?
really want to impress me, who's that on the outside here?
Is that Hans?
I don't know. No, I don't reckon. I don't know.
I was looking at the glove.
I can see his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see his hand. That's it.
That might be Peter Rawn, because with his Oakleys. You think he's got Oakley glasses?
No idea.
No idea. You can just see the DN
them.
levers on the left arm, can't you? Or just about. You need glasses, mate. That's what you need.
Well, I've got glasses. I just ain't got them on. No, I still don't know who it is though.
No.
No.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that was probably 92 in Wrocław. Me and Kelvin went out and tested foreign riders riding in the Polish league. They were strange days. They were the early Polish days. I'd like to say they were fun. They were just scary mostly.
Scary.
Yeah. But I don't know. I haven't read Kelvin, MBE, and Orfa's book yet. But I'm sure there's a few stories in there from our early Polish trips.
Yeah, I'm on the last bit. I think I put it down and I haven't read the last chapter, but that's brings back memories. Yeah, he's had a few. I think you were in there, Chris, on a scary trip on a plane. Polish.
Yeah, that was the parachute club plane. Yeah. Kelv was determined he wasn't getting on it to come home, but when they told him that it was going to take him 3 days by train, he changed his mind.
I think we all had a few scary Polish flights. I had one after the World Final at Sweden and to Poland, and with Mitch Shearer, we had sort of engines on the laps and all sorts on the laps, and it's dreadful. Single prop propeller thing and painted like a dragonfly. It was.
Sounds a bit like ours.
Wheelbarrow. Yeah, bigger wheels on my wheelbarrow than this bloody thing. That was sort of like,
Jesus Christ.
It was when we were heading back to Warsaw in R1, and they got a road map out because they were lost.
Well, this one at one stage, I think we're actually in it for 7 hours or something ridiculous. We had to land for fuel on an island, no customs or anything like that. They just filled us up, and away we went. And it wasn't until you get out of the country they realise, well, how do you get in there? And you pull out your passport, and all these reams of sort of like stamps go past, and and they says, well, it's on there somewhere, mate. And he's and then you have stickers and a few slotties, and that get your stamp. To get out of the country.
And all the little white parcels with parcel tape around them in the back of the plane.
It is unbelievable. And at one stage, we weren't actually going forward; we're going sideways, and the headwind, actually going sideways. And the pilot just said, "Well, you must do something because we will go into the sea soon. We have no fuel." Nice to hear, and it's just great. Yeah, me and Mitch kissed the ground when we landed, and we both got maximums that day for a Polish club. Funny that.
Just didn't make it home, really.
Nah, struggled getting out of the country because they didn't know how we got in there. But
We've got Dennis Sagalas has just come on and put, hi, Chris and Jem. Looking good, boys. Looking good, boys. Jem, you remember that night I burned up 4 brand new tyres in my Citroen in the front of your house? That cost me 4 new tyres.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sounds about right.
That was a usual thing. That was whoever was coming back about sort of like 1:30, 3 o'clock in the morning was the Citroen brakes are really, really sharp, and you could lock them up very easy, and just with a sort of slight touch on the pedal. It's quite. I think everyone who's sort of a passenger in a Citroen has got a flat nose, and sort of like
bit of hereditary
with your head butted the dash so many times. That is a party trick. And the other party trick was, say, going about 2:30 in the morning, you just slam the anchors on, and then watch all the lights coming on down the street, and then drive off. but Siggy thought he'd take it to the extreme this time, and yeah, just sort of burnout. Yeah, caned his tyres. But those cars, they really were.
Got Andy Rackman here, who's put highly. Ask Chris if he thinks we would have done better in the Club 100 karting if the nightclubs were shut. Hashtag Team Smirnoff.
Yeah, well, I wasn't Team Smirnoff. I was just Team beer, basically, and maybe the odd sort of, I don't know, whiskey or something. But yeah, we would. Andy, we would have done much better if we didn't turn up hungover, being sick, all of those things. Yeah. I mean, but we did have some good results. Could have been better.
Sounds like a World Team Cup. In the
80s. They were good days. Myself, Andy, Gav, Studdy. We had good fun. They're like endurance race, so you do 2 25-minute races, and we got into some scuffles with the opposition on occasions.
Got a Kevin Titman here as well. He's put hello from Brisbane, boys.
You're in? All right, mate. Long time no see, no speak.
Yeah, the Echo. Yeah, brilliant. Had some brilliant rides around there, and I borrowed Papa John's long track, his dual long track bike, and rode at Bathurst in Ivensby. And I think we landed in Perth. The bikes came over, and we rode in the King of Claremont in Perth, and then hopped on the plane straight after the meeting with the engines all nice and warm, and sort of, it was on a proper plane this time, and went to Bathurst. I think it was about a 4 hour. Was it 4 hour time difference between sort of like Perth and Brisbane, or Perth to the other side, and sort of then we got to Bathurst. John was there, and Kevin was there as well, with Stevie Witt. He used to. Chris will know Stevie very well. We sort of like whacked the engine in, and I think I was leading the final that year, and then and the ignition box went flat, which for 2 nights racing wasn't bad, to be honest, as we forgot to charge it. But
why did you forget, Dunk?
Well, I think probably only had one. That was probably why, wasn't it?
Nothing to do with the beers the night before, then, or anything.
No, we didn't have time of that. Okay, sometimes we just sort of like did the most ridiculous things, from overnight dashes, and I've done loads with John Titman, sort of into the south of France, and through the night and all sorts. It's just you just think, well, we just lived on the Austrian Red Bulls and the Black Boosters in Belgium. I think it was the Black Boosters in Belgium. And then sort of like when that fizzled out, you'd sort of like get the real Red Bulls in Austria and get and stock them up to sort of to keep you going. But that was before you could buy them. You could only buy them over there then. But did you a real lot of good, I think. Yeah, those sort of types of drinks.
No, not the best.
Not the
Chris,
best.
You must have a fan here, Chris, because James has put. Can Chris wish my son David a happy birthday? So you must be a fan.
Happy birthday, David. Have a good one, mate. I don't know if that's today or tomorrow, but I hope you've had a good one, or you're going to have a good one.
There you go. There you go, guys. Did you both, either of you, have any weird superstitions or anything in your race days?
Don't think so. Don't know. I remember Sal did. Sal wore the same pair of like jogging bottoms under his race suit, and they were just bits of string hanging down his legs in the end. But he wore them every race he ever did while he rode Speedway. That's the most bizarre one. I'm not sure. I don't know whether I had any or not.
No, ended up using the same stuff because that's the only stuff I had.
It's because you were tight, Dom.
Same job for a few years. It didn't look so healthy at the end.
No, I don't know. I know a lot of riders that will always put their left glove on first or their right boot on first, and I've heard people talking about it. Like, I don't remember, apart from the obvious start line thing, I don't remember having anything else.
No. You have to have rituals. I always used to like a bit of a nap just before in the afternoon, so you could just sort of like switch off and just sort of, because quite often during the day you're preparing your bikes, you're organising your travel for you're thinking 2 or 3 meetings ahead, and we seem to be doing far a lot of meetings. If you had an FIM track racing license, you tended to do a lot of multi-disciplines of sport, and you could soon fill up your calendar very quickly, and so you had to do some dashing around and a lot of things. So so I used to kind of get all that side sorted out and then just switch off and just have a good sort of hour and a half, just a little bit of a cat nap, just to sort of just clear all that off your head, and then you can go racing then. And that seems.
I did used to cut the grass before a home meeting. That was my quiet moment, cutting the grass, just the sound of the lawnmower, thoughts to myself. Yeah, I did do that.
Yeah, now you roll it, don't you?
Roll it.
I'm getting a bit obsessed with my grass now.
Oh yeah. So
I'll tell you,
it's age days.
He's got the most perfect lawn you could ever wish for.
It's not that good, Doug. You're getting carried away.
It's
You'll
incredible.
be able to play five-a-side on that then.
No, you're not allowed to walk on it. You go around.
No, you're not allowed on it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, God no, don't walk on it.
Yeah, you've got signs everywhere. Keep off the grass.
Oh yeah, Wembley, keep off. Keith on YouTube put Donkey has a Dave mullet.
He's always had a Dave mullet.
It's out of control. It's crap, mate. It really is bad. Can't do anything with it. I don't think anyone has. Over the years.
No one can.
It's just it's a lost cause. It's on par with Boris's, I think.
Who were your biggest influences in your careers for both of you?
Oh, influences. I suppose. I mean, obviously, Dad having a successful career before me was a big influence. Other than that, for me, my first year riding in the team, partnered with Andy Gelvin. He was absolutely phenomenal that year. He really did lead the team. He was kind of a little bit of an unknown, really, but he was absolutely awe-inspiring that year, and he done so much for me in that first year of riding with him. He'd always just ride around behind me, carving everybody up, not letting them get near me, and he always said, "Make the start, do the rest," and that's exactly how he did have he gave me that step up first year by looking after me, and definitely gained me points and confidence. So he probably had the biggest single effect on me, I would say.
I'd say probably. I'd say the early years would be, guys like Billy, Siggy, of course. We all helped each other out. Well, Siggy and Billy particularly, cook them up. He'd always give you tips. And of course, Chris's old man. Before I signed for Ipswich, I used to. He was living up with his mum, Jael's mum Vera, and I used to ring him up and for advice, and particularly when it was trying to do a deal with John Berry, and he was very influential on that, and made sure that what I got was very fair, and which I very much appreciated. Of course, the tables reversed when John Boy was promoter of Ipswich, because then he obviously taught me how to negotiate. So.
Did you ask Chris then?
Well, yes, actually.
No, I didn't have anything to do with the money back then.
But I think all the guys, I mean, you could see they're all influential, because you could see if you wanted to get to achieve anything, you had to work hard at it. You know, you couldn't just natural ability wasn't enough. You know, natural ability is the very basic you need, and then you have to work with the rest of it to get where you got to be. You know, which is a shame. You get a few people who have got all the other bits but haven't got the natural ability. But so it just doesn't. You just don't get. You only get so far. You need the whole package, and those whole packages, they're out there, but they don't always get there without sort of piecing all those bits together. I think you agree with that, won't you, Chris?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, well, what a set of overalls that is. Great, eh?
Castrol and Bow on there as well.
Yeah, I had some sponsors for a young fella.
Yeah.
I don't know how old I was there.
Got Godden thing on there as well.
Yeah, Bell, Godden, Castrol. I don't know. Legates, we're talking, I must have been about, I reckon I'm about 10 there. I don't know. No idea.
Got the old Neil Collins handkerchief around the neck as well, isn't it?
Yeah, got the old scarf going on there, haven't I?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I was racing around the garden with tail jets and things then.
Oh, I had an Italia my dad made for me.
Yeah, tail jet. Then I had Sim 50s that were little mini speedway bikes.
Wow,
they were good.
They were ahead of their times, really, weren't they? Those little
the Sim 50s, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, they were good. Little SAS engine 50cc things.
You think of all the riders that come through the junior grass tracks and stuff. You know, that was like every weekend, wasn't it? There's like, well, and the motocross as well, but it's just depleted, isn't it? Which is a shame.
I was going to say, what is the grass track scene now like? Because I don't really see much of the grass track, but I knew there was obviously batches and batches of talent came through all over the years. What's that like now?
It's not brilliant, I don't think, but so I think the trouble is that the foot and mouth gave it a bit of a, you know, they had a couple of bouts of that. And the other thing is, a lot of the bikes got too bespoke. You know, they would sort of buy a brand new motocross bike to take the engine out to put it in a grass track frame, and sort of you got, you know, a very expensive schoolboy bike, which is and I think with the foot and mouth, I think someone would bought a motocross bike, why don't we just sort of like put the engine back in the motocross bike and ride a motocross? You know, so it's kind of shifted a little bit where everyone's.
Personally, I don't know why you'd have ever taken the engine out of a motocross bike. Really, got to be honest.
Tinkering, wasn't it?
Yeah, leave it in the motocross bike.
A lot of tinkering going on.
Yeah, I mean, I had a 250 Honda in the 80s, and they put it in at Balfagan. I was sponsored by Hagen's. They put it in a grass track bike, and to make it handle, but Alf kept making longer and longer swinging arms, and it actually got to the stage where the bike we couldn't put any more longer swinging arms in, so we extended the engine plates, went back to the standard swinging arms, and it got to the stage where I had to modify the trailer because it's 6 inches longer than my 500. So it got. But
you ain't seen nothing if you ain't seen Donk on his Red Rocket 250 with a fuel injection system on it.
Right, guys, if it's all right with you guys, if I ask you one more question each, and then maybe we could do a part 2 again, because there's literally hundreds of questions on here I can't even touch. There's too many. And I've got not even got halfway through mine, and we've gone 2 hours on already. And I know you both had your jabs today as well, so don't want to too long. So I'll just ask you both: did you both have any regrets from your speedway career at all?
Oh, Donk, you can go first on that one.
Any regrets?
Like signing for Ipswich or anything like that? No, instead of Swindon.
No. I mean, I
sure. You sure? No, joking.
Yeah, I think there's looking back, there's a few things I wish I would have done a bit better. You know, maybe drop the clutch a bit quicker when I really needed to. I think 1990, you know, I really felt I could sort of be a world champion individual, and won the overseas with a 15-pointer. But then got nothing at Falstead in Denmark, and that kind of still grates on me to this day. It's a big mistake I made in Falstead. But yeah, other than that, pretty happy really with all round. Club wise, great times with Ipswich early on, and then Reading for 5 years, fantastic times there, and then back at Ipswich again for the remainder of my career, second career, and had just as much fun, and also the grass tracks and long tracks. Towards the end, we had some terrific times. No regrets at all.
I think I'm pretty much the same, really. I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing. There are things as you get older and you watch from the outside, you realise that you could have done a whole lot better, and maybe you'd have done a little bit more in the sport. But I had a good time. I had a lot of really good friends in the sport, both motocross and speedway. So I don't regret anything, really. I had some great clubs, very supportive clubs to ride for. Obviously, Hackney and Ipswich over here. Enjoyed my time in Sweden with Bisona, riding on the island. That was a great experience. Rode with some great friends and riders. So it's been a great career. I've had a lot of fun.
Beautiful. I've got to do a part 2 then, because we've not got through half of all this stuff.
Good.
All right.
That's possible. When you're both feeling all right.
Yeah. I might feel a bit more lively after a few days.
Yeah.
Is it hitting you now, Chris? Is it?
Yeah, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah. Which one did you have? The Pfizer or the Oxford one? Oxford. So I'm going to kick in. I had mine at 3:30, so mine's going to kick in. I should be in bed by then, shouldn't I?
12, mine. Yeah.
Well,
it's been a pleasure, Lee. Thank you very much.
Yes, pleasure's all mine to speak to you.
Hear people that wrote in.
Yeah, there's loads more, so we'll have to do a part 2.
Yeah, definitely. Enjoyed it. Cheers, Lee. Thanks very much.
Really appreciate it, guys.
This time as well.
Take it easy.
Cheers.
You need to send me some Ipswich memorabilia up here.
Well, we'll have it all in there for the next one.
Yeah, we'll have to have some Ipswich up. Yeah. Just bring the Mrs. Broomstick in, and then we'll be sorted for the Ipswich part.
Is that
be listening?
Is that picture a bit grainy, or is it sort of? I might turn the light on actually. I don't know.
Too late now, Don. We're done.
Hi, Jim.
Oh, that's better. Look, it works.
Oh, look at that.
That would have been great.
That's brilliant after all that.
You turn the light on. Look.
Get that ready for next time, Jem, as well.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
All right.
Leave the setup. Just leave the setup, Don.
Setup. I remember that one. Yeah, I write it in my little black book.
Lawrence has put great interview. Don't trust these pair though. Something big going down. Mark my words.
That sounds about right. I don't know what it is. All right, we'll see you in the curry
really
house.
appreciate it.
Then in a couple of weeks.
Okay, then I'll turn it off.
I'll turn it off,
guys.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you. See ya.
Thanks a lot, mate. Thanks a lot, Jem. I appreciate that. We'll have to definitely do a part 2. It's too much to talk about still.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Yes. Sorry about the lag that I haven't had my laptop on for a while, but I turned it on yesterday and sort of like that was fine, and then turned it on tonight and it just kept going round and round, wouldn't load up. So, but there we go.
Didn't miss too much. It was all right, and I redid the video again, so it's all good.
Yeah, great.
I'll do another one. I'll do another new one again, ready for another night.
Brilliant. Yeah, look forward.
No problem at all. Thanks ever so much, Joe. Really appreciate it, mate. Top man, legend.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Top man.
Bye.
Cheers, Joe. Wow, another legends. Really enjoyed that with those guys. I did have a talk with Chris quickly on Twitter before he came on. Fair play. He was on for just over 2 hours with us. He'd had his COVID jab earlier in the day and he's been feeling quite sleepy all day, he said. So I just will pre-warn you. I feel like I need to lie down. So I was aware of that as well. We could have gone on for another, another hour easily, couldn't we? But yeah, we'll do that again. We'll do a part 2 with Jem and Chris. There were so many questions. I couldn't literally. I know there's a few of you because I went down to the bottom and it just basically refreshes, so it could jump like half an hour down, and I'm like sort of an hour or more behind the questions. It's like that bad. So if a few of you thinking I'm ignoring loads of stuff, I'm not. It's just it refreshes. If I could show you this, you wouldn't believe. At one point, I was 45 minutes behind the questions you were asking. So just to give you a quick, so sometimes I just literally sometimes just click down to the bottom and then try and go up and try and get a few more in from down the bottom as well. So people don't think I'm ignoring them. It literally was, and then obviously I go onto the pictures, show them some pictures, and then I come back and it's another 20 minutes behind what I was already behind already. So yeah, it is what it is on that, I'm afraid, but I try and get in what we can. We're definitely going to do a part 2 with them two guys, both British legends, as we know. So that was really cool. Right, I'm just seeing a couple of you guys' comments. I've just now gone right down to the bottom. So I was asking questions from like just gone 8 o'clock, and it's like 20 past 9. So just to give you the heads up with that. I just see you as right at the end as well, Maureen. Sorry about that. She's put, I'm watching from Tasmania, Australia. Hopefully you can get on next time. And that's why I just saw Lowell just come on at the end as well there. Because I just literally refreshed it, let it come right to the bottom just to see what everyone's saying on the way out. Good to see Jem looking good. Fantastic rider. Another good interview. Couple of legends in my area. Great interview, guys. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Lee. Enjoyed that. Look forward to part 2. Yeah, we'll definitely do a part 2. We didn't have a lot of luck with this one. I think the first one, I just had my operation, or I wasn't very well. I remember that. And then I didn't know. And then obviously rearranged it for tonight. And unfortunately, Chris has had his COVID jab earlier on, and he was feeling really sleepy. He's just pre-warned me before he come on, and I thought, oh shit. But yeah, he did well, and we got plenty of questions in. But we'll definitely do a part 2 with them two guys. There's lots of more questions that we can ask. I didn't ask, not even quarter of mine either. So, and then as soon as I see you guys ask a question that I've already got on mine, I always ask yours first. Just to let everyone know, on the bike competition, I've only got 34 tickets left, I think, now. And then at the moment, I've been speaking to a load of riders. I'll keep you informed who they are very soon to let you know what's going on next week. Tomorrow night, I'm with Motocross Kiwi legend, Mr. Josh Coppins, 7 p.m. UK time tomorrow night. And then I'm going to update you all on the next BSMA Legends Motocross, who I'm going to do with that. And then I will keep you informed of what the interviews will be coming up next week and stuff as well. I've been speaking to quite a few, so it's just a matter of trying to lock some times and dates in and all that sort of stuff. Thanks, Dewey. Hopefully I got your question in, mate. Nice to hear stories about you guys. Right little circle you had going there, didn't you? And he's put as well. Lowell's just put, great interview. Don't trust this pair though. So, what's this going down big? Maybe you should message me. Message me, Lowell, on this. Don't leave me out of the circle of trust. Keith put here on YouTube, something like, listening to old Speedway stories are great, but we live in times when fellow friends need to join together and defeat the enemy, or Speedway will never return. Great. Yeah, I don't. Look forward to part 2. Yep, definitely. Just saw that, John Flatman. You've put about the electric bikes. I've got loads of photos still on here as well that I didn't get to show the guys. but I'll keep them for another day. There's loads of photos to go through as well. So I've told you about the bike tickets. There's only 34 tickets left on that. And I'm back on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. with a New Zealand motocross legend, Mr. Josh Coppins. So that should be a good one. And then I will keep you all informed on all my social media of what's coming up. Loads of Speedway guys I'm talking to from all different eras, so that'll be good. And you can catch me on any of my social media, which I will just show you quickly on the video that you can check out. Where am I? Here we go. Oh, that's the... And here's the bike competition I got going with only 34 tickets left of the 200 tickets total. That'll be in the live draw for the Tortelli, Zeb Tortelli JHK Kawasaki replica. And here's just a quick video on that as well. And also, hopefully, I will get back to you guys as well on my motocross meeting we're going to do in September, 4th and 5th of September, 2-day meeting. There'll be a load of Speedway guys there as well. We're going to call it, obviously, the Motocross and Speedway Memories Reunion. We're looking to have displays of Speedway memorabilia and that sort of thing as well. I know there's going to be a lot of Speedway guys coming to watch. There'll also be some Speedway guys racing as well, I believe, that used to race in the BSMA era and in the schoolboys in the UK and stuff as well. There's also going to be, the plan is to have some ex-pros are going to be there from abroad and in the UK. So it should be really, should be an amazing reunion meeting. So yeah, we've just been basically having a bit of trouble. We sort of seemed to sort of track and then realised we're not going to have enough parking and stuff like that for that one, unfortunately, because it was a perfect track. So now we're back out on the lookout again, sort of ideally old school track. So if anyone with some good contacts with old school tracks in the UK, get in touch with me as soon as possible, because we are talking to tracks now. So yeah, get in touch with me with that. Yeah, I've spoken, I don't mind saying, in the last couple of days I've spoken to Bradley Wilson Dean about an interview. We was talking about it, and messaged Darcy Ward because we we did speak before one of his meetings, and obviously he was busy with that, but we did agree that we'd sort out around that as well. So hopefully I'll be able to confirm that soon as well. So that'd be good. Thanks very much. Thank you very much. Pissing myself over t-shirt. No problem, Clive. Thanks for that. Seeing some of the Spirit Edge just makes it look forward to getting into the tracks when things are open. Yes. Yes, we're looking forward to that, buddy. Have to get a message off Lawrence to see what's going on, what he's on about. Right, so I will speak to you all soon. I'll be back on tomorrow night for the Motocross one, and then I will keep you guys all updated on the social medias. Get into my Facebook group, Motocross and Speedway Memories. You can get into there. You probably see how it looks like. There you go, look. get into the group, and then see the blue button there. Look, you can invite your friends and family into the group. And I've also got there's the competitions one as well. Don't want my interview to come back on there. There's the Motocross and Speedway Memories competitions. You guys could like that, and you can share that page. It'd be cool. We're on Twitter as well, and the live feed goes through onto my Twitter on the Motocross and Speedway Memories. That should be live now. Yep. See that we're live on the Twitter, and then on Instagram, and also got the YouTube channel that you can subscribe to for free. And there's now hundreds of recorded interviews. All these live ones get recorded so that people can watch them in their own time. Not a lot of people, some people, not a lot can watch them live. So that'll be, you can do that. I normally always share the link the following day of the live from the previous night, and there's hundreds on there now that you can go and visit and check all them out in your own time. There's Speedway ones. I'll just quickly go through them for you while we've got a few Speedway fans on. Previous interviews, Speedway, obviously I did Greg Hancock live for over 2 hours last week. Lawrence Hare, did over 3 hours with Lawrence Hare. Paco Castagna, good couple of hours, and then that was a brilliant one. I surprised him with his idol Stefan Everts, 10 times world motocross champion, that come on, and that was really funny. I did a 2-part with world champion Sebastian Tortelli. That was really cool. Now I've gone on to the motocross now, but did one with Ollie Olsen, getting back to the Speedway. Did one with Chris Holder for over 2 hours. That was cool, a couple of weeks ago. Did one with Alan Carter, Kenny Carter's brother. So we did a road racing one. That was cool. He talked about him and Kenny's life growing up and all that. That was really cool. One that went down really well. This tonight was my second one that I did with 2 riders together, Chris and Jem tonight. The first one I did was Eric Gunderson and Bruce Pennell together. That went down really well. About a month ago now, it says on there. So you can watch that. That was for over 2 hours. Speedway going back. Yep, did the one with Ollie Olsen there. That was well over 2 hours. Also well over 2 hours with Perry Johnson. That's on my YouTube channel as well. Did over 3 hours live with Eric Gunderson on his own. That was amazing. Did over 3 hours with Hans Nielsen. That was amazing. That's on there. Did over 2 hours with Chris Morton. Joint Team GB boss, Mr. Ollie Allen's on there. Simon Cross, another British legend. I did Paul Hurry. That was really cool. Did over 3 hours with Paul Hurry. Another one that went really down well with everyone was John Davis. Did over 3 hours with John Davis. That was a really cool one. I did one with Mark Laram, an hour and a half with Mark Laram. I did an hour and a half with Ronnie Corrie. Both of them were live. The ones before that I did were Andy Graham. I did one for nearly 2 hours with Andy Graham. It was one of my first live ones. And then before that, I used to do the recorded Skype ones. So the recorded Skype ones, I've got hour and a half with Todd Wiltshire, nearly 2 hours with Martin Smolinski, an hour with Martin Dugard, 45 minutes with Chris Bomber Harris. I did a 2-part with Scott Nichols, both for 45 minutes. So you've got a good hour and a half there of 2 parts with Scott Nichols. I did an hour and a half of Gary Havelock. And then I also did a Skype one with Hans Nielsen that was over an hour. There's 2 parts to that. I did one with Lee Adams that was an hour. Did one with Bruce Pennell on his own for just over an hour. Did one with Roscoe for an hour. Did one with Jason Crump for an hour. And there's all the Speedway ones for you. Look. And then obviously there's hundreds of motocross ones as well with some severe legends on there as well. So yeah, there's loads on there you can check out from sort of 9 months ago. So not a lot of people are probably aware of them. So you can go and check all them out. It's just on my YouTube channel, just Motocross and Speedway Memories. If you put that into the search, or even my name, I think comes up as well. So my daughter told me. She goes, "Daddy, I put your name in, and I could see your channel." So I don't know if I can get it up on the screen. You still see the Jeremy Doncaster and Louis thing, but that's what it looks like. If we can just Motocross and Speedway Memories, look, there's a motocross rider at the top. I don't know if I can get that like that. Look. There was only like nobody really knew about my YouTube channel. Now there's nearly 1,000 subscribers on there, which is cool. in a short space of time, so that's nice. So yeah, you can go on there, just subscribe for free, and then every time I add another one on there, which obviously every one of these lives adds another recording on there for the following day, you can check them out in your own time whenever you want. So I will leave you with my dad's quote, as I always do before I leave. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. So hopefully some of you guys will join me tomorrow to speak with Kiwi legend Mr. Josh Cobbins. It should be a good one. Speak to you all soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless. Ciao, Bella.